Long ago, at the dawn of the Imperium of Man, many great changes were sweeping across the galaxy. After the defeat of Horus Lupercal and the establishment of the Codex Astartes, the Imperium of Man was eager to enact changes that would assure that the horrors of the heresy would never, ever repeat themselves. These changes were widespread across the Imperium, and the Navy was no different. The very starships that once proudly served the Emperor were no longer as beloved or trusted as they once were before. As a result, changes would be required to make sure they adhered to a new doctrine, a new dogma, a new paradigm. Traditions changed slowly, but after the fires of war, the Imperium was quick to change their methods of void combat. The faster moving, longer ranged vessels of the past were being replaced by slower, more heavily armored designs that were more trusted in their construction philosophy. A massive series of vessels that straddled the line between old and new design were constructed. In its heyday, they were considered a poetic and effective design, the ship itself a physical representation of emerging from the past to embrace the future. While the ship lacks the standardized armored prow of its descendants, its origins are found in the design. Towards the aft of the vessel, older weapons are mixed with new to form lethal combinations in overlapping firing ranges to provide effective cover for targets both near and far, finally ending in a hybrid engine section of incredible power. The size of the vessel calls back to a more sophisticated time, as the ships themselves are enormous, sometimes out-tunning full-scale battleships while retaining the maneuverability of a much smaller ship. While they once dominated the space lanes, they are now, for the most part, considered old warhorses long past their prime. Active Grand Cruisers are found across the galaxy, but mostly present in Segmentum Obscurus, where every ship with a functioning firepower is appreciated. Within the Bastion fleets and reserve fleets, they are a common sight, though many designs have been pushed back to mothball status. Few, if any, Forge Worlds produce them at this time, as the smaller and more balanced battlecruiser design has all but taken up their role. The lucky commander to obtain one is blessed with an imposing ship with incredible tactical value, even if its weapon placements are archaic and its prow devoid of firepower. Of the five most common classes of Grand Cruiser, three still serve the Imperium of Man actively, while a fourth can only be found in the reserve fleets. The most common vessel, and certainly the most popular, is the Vengeance Grand Cruiser, a hull design equipped with much desired long-range firepower with potent batteries and lances. While they used to function in larger numbers, it is a vessel with such excellent range and strength that even alone they are enough to dissuade pirates from attacking convoys. So effective are these ships that they are regularly found patrolling the systems around the Eye of Terror itself, though some have been lost to it as well. Equipped with 10 massive port and starboard weapons batteries and two huge port and starboard lances, they are capable of causing incredible damage to an oncoming foe while keeping its port and starboard side showing towards the enemy, making evasion of fire more effective. Their powerful engines and shield give it excellent defenses, and an extensive turret network allows it to repel most enemy attack craft. Similar in design to the Vengeance is the Avenger, a brutal design to exemplify a different era of combat. Once made in great numbers, Avengers would push directly into enemy formations, relying on their tough hull structure and powerful shields for defense. Unleashing incredible broadsides of firepower at close range, the upper and lower bays of the Avenger are packed with as many weapon batteries as they can fit, combining older and newer designs of macro cannon arrays for the sole purpose of breaking enemy formations to bits. While it was a costly maneuver, it regularly served its purpose well until its vessel's purpose was taken up by significantly cheaper and better armored vessels such as the Lunar and Gothic. As the number of Avengers shrunk, their ability to perform their duties became more and more difficult. Squadrons of 3 ships suddenly found themselves alone, unable to amass firepower to shatter enemy lines as effectively. Now such vessels are considered to reserve roles, but occasionally can be pushed back into the line of fire when resources run thin and the needs are great. The Exorcist was designed to serve as a long-range patrol vessel, capable of extended deployments without resupply. The vessels themselves are regularly supported by several squadrons of escorts during these extended deployments, allowing for a level of covering fire and backup in case of enemy attack. During major fleet battles, the Exorcist served as a rear-line support carrier, capable of launching Shark assault boats as well as Starhawk bombers and Fury fighters. Several modifications were also done to its upper deck guns to increase firepower at short range as well. With the deployment of the Mars battlecruiser, the Exorcist found itself being replaced one ship at a time, though they can still be found in active duty throughout the galaxy. Its enormous interior spaces allow it to assist in evacuations, colonizations, and planetary invasion in ways the smaller Mars simply cannot provide. The least common Grand Cruiser now found in the hands of the Imperium is only found in the darkest corners and the direst of times. At one point, the Executor was a rare variant, designed to be the counterfoil to the heavily armed vessels of the time. Equipped with 6 powerful lance cannons on each broadside, it presented well as the pocket battleship that was sorely needed at the time, while retaining the maneuverability of a smaller class of ship. While the vessel served well, the few remaining ships found themselves being consigned to reserve fleets of Segmentum Obscurus. These ships are no longer trusted by the Imperium, as many of them have been found in the hands of the fleets of traitors and pirates. Despite this, the Executor is an effective and lethal ship when used, even if its crew fear the very vessel keeping them alive in the void of space. Alongside it are the few remaining repulsive Grand Cruisers still flying the Imperial regalia, rarely and sparingly used when no other option is available. Fourth wall break. Hey everybody, I'm back to making lore videos again. I apologize for such a gap, but I've only just recently started to have more time. Some channel updates and Discord updates. Number 1, we have updated the Book of the Void 1 Discordia incident to version 1.4. There's a lot of cool stuff that we've added. Go have a look, and I hope you all enjoy it. Also, I now have an X page specifically for this channel, so if you want to go follow me on X and watch as I annoy people with Battlefleet Gothic, please do so. We are getting closer and closer, of course, to Adepticon. We definitely have most of the work already done on Book of the Void 3. It should be ready for release at Adepticon, ideally with everything going as well as it possibly could. Now, about the Grand Cruisers of the Imperium, I love these things. They're probably my favorite ship. I love their aesthetic. I love the look. I love their rules. The Imperial Grand Cruisers are definitely the weaker of all of the Grand Cruiser designs, and I did add in the mention of the Executor or the Executor, however you want to say it, because it is actually usable in an Imperial list, so I thought it would be appropriate, though I'll go into more detail about it in the Chaos version. This actually pretty much wraps up the first run of Imperial ships that I'm doing. I'm going to handle Baka in an entirely separate video, but all of the Imperial Grand Cruisers are just fun. It's kind of tragic that their rules really restricted their deployment because they only really shine on the board when they're in squads of 2, and then they become very, very powerful. But individually, they're kind of weak. So I hope all of you have had an opportunity to use the Imperial Grand Cruiser. They're a lot of fun. They're a really good ship to reserve in on pretty much any Imperial fleet. Or if you take Segmentum Obscurus to really bring home effectively the beauty of the Grand Cruiser. Just a fair warning, I highly recommend that if you're going to be adding a Grand Cruiser to your fleet, do not get the original. As beautiful a model as it is, as you can see in the images, the thing required more brass pins to stay in one piece than actual pewter in the Mini. It's a bit tragic in that regard, but they're fantastic. They're wonderful. They have an iconic look. I love them. I'm making an entire fleet in Book of the Void 3 based upon that Grand Cruiser design, and I just love the whole hybrid of Chaos and Imperial bays and the different combinations you can get out of it, which is just fun. It's interesting, and there's a lot of opportunity to make these truly beautiful ships, and when painted, they're truly amazing. So, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll see you all again in the next one. Have a great day.